Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is the deconstruction of my latest track called Yudh, and let's get into it. So we're gonna start from the top, go towards the bottom. These are all the groups that I have made. This is like a custom made template that I made for my own mixes. And if I show you just one group, so this has this EQ and the macros that are controlling the EQ and this output utility gain that is turned to -16. Now I'm gonna tell you someday how is it -16.
Yeah, boy.
But other than that, it's just to control the frequencies, have a better, cleaner mix. That is just what it is for. So let's start from the effects section. The first sound that comes in is the impact. I am sorry if that was too loud. The impact is too loud. So that right there is the first sound that comes in. From there we have this horn. Makes both of them just have a big role in just giving it that war ground, that very big, chaotic, well, not chaotic, I just cannot find the word, forget it. Then we have this war chant. Simple loop, very simple mixing, EQ, OTT, vintage verb. Then I have this plugin called Wider, and I like to use it a lot. So this is like what you can say. This is stereo imaging, stereo widening, goes up to 200. I have set it at 80. So you guys can try it. It's a good, effective plugin, very small, effective plugin. Exhaust sound. These are long sweeps. So let me show you these. So this is like the long sweep that comes in the build-up. And then how I like to layer my build-up with white noises or these uprisers is that I take at least two and sometimes even three. So this is the long one, this is somewhere around a medium one, and that is the small one, but this time I am keeping it ahead of both of these. So this particular second upriser, second build up just adds more power. This just adds more power to it. And if you hear it without this, just this, then it doesn't have that much power. So this is like a technique, like a tip that you can use to kind of pump up your build-ups, where you can have two or three different size of uprisers, white noises, whatever you want to call them, and have them lay as the drop is proceeding. If I put this right around here, somewhere here, or just started right with this up to this, it just wouldn't feel any different. But the fact that it starts off somewhere around here where the drop is about to come in, we're much nearer to the drop, it just creates more power and more tension. This is an exhaust. I have side change, the exhaust side change. Oh, I sound like Donald Trump.
China.
So this is a side chaining because this is the kick. This is a kick clap pattern right here. So I just don't want these exhausts to kind of mess up the frequencies with my drop or say with my drums. So I just created these notches, more like a side chaining. Other than that, we have this small short build up right there. This supports the pre-drop vocal because I don't like to keep my pre-drop vocals very empty. This right here is an ambience. I use a lot of ambience in my tracks. Now this ambience is just back in the head. It doesn't have any, I'd say, any sort of space, any sort of its own volume in the track. You cannot hear this. But if I remove this, it's gonna take a very big whoop of the track. It's gonna take so much space off of the track that the track just won't feel as heavy or as thick as it was. At the same time, it's very important to mix them pretty well. So with the EQ, the wider that I've used, just 20% stereo, and definitely these volume automations. So all of these are just to control the volume in my drop section. I just don't want it to have that much space. I want it to sit a little back so that all the synths in my drop, all the drums in my drop can come in. So I control it like that. Okay, on to the next one. Then we have our synths. So my synth, the first synth that comes in is the flute. This is a contact patch. Then we have this second one that comes in as the verse starts. So this is just to kind of, make a little more layering, make a little difference, because this is the intro and that is the verse. So at least a person who's listening the track should have some recognition that sorry, that something in the drop is changing. What did I just say? Something in the drop? No, something in the intro is changing. So this is the verse, and that is how you can identify, okay, that was the intro, now this is the verse. We don't have too much sense in the track. Then I'm gonna explain the percussions first, and then we're gonna go to the vocals, because percussions are coming in much more earlier. So the first percussion we have is just 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. क्या हो गया right there? Quite frankly saying, as soon as I heard the 2-3, when I was like not even thinking of the track, as soon as I heard the 2-3, this idea came to me that I want to create this track that has the feeling, the whole ambience of a battleground, of a war ground. Then we have these war drums. Then again, talking about intro and verse, so this is the intro, and then I added this one war drum again in the verse. So this is a little faster, and it kind of separates the intro from the verse. So that's like adding more difference in the intro and the verse, and as well after the verse we're going to have the drop down section. So we need for the listener to understand that the track is gradually increasing its pace, increasing its strength. Then we don't have anything as such. Then we have the drop down section. Again, both the flute, and we have in the effects I have the exhaust. Sorry, right there. And we're clipping. Finally, that happened. So it's like the ambience at the same time with the flute, the war horn, and then we're into the build-up section. Let me just close all of this down so that we can save some more CPU. And this is the build-up. So has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. This is the same pattern, like the same loop, and I just copy pasted it because the first one was not giving it that much power. So sorry. So I thought that we should have a second one as well. It's running minus 10 dB, so it's just giving it that thump, that power. And so this is like a loop. I always like using loops in my build-ups. Sometimes I just use one loop and have two of my own layers. Sometimes I use two loops. So it's like using at least one loop gives the drop a little. I'd say it just gives it a little more professional or more. Yeah, professional is the word because I cannot find any other word right now. Professional sounding build up, whatever. So, and this is the second one, gives this more thump. Now this is the third build up. I created these notches right here so that the kicks can fill in the space, have a little more cleaner mix. And if you notice this build up itself, this loop has a built-in not built in definitely, but when it was made with a uplifter, a white noise, a kind of sub bass rising in its own self, and that also fills up a lot of space in the build up for this particular drop. And it has those brasses, I don't know what that is. And then we have this build up chants chants. So I created these build up chants into more like a white noise upriser in its own self. I use the transposition modulation, learn your English.
English speaking like a Undertaker play. Taj Mahal create. Taj Mahal create. Yes.
Transposition modulation. Transportation modulation, this right here, and it just makes this feel more like a white noise, but it's just sitting in the background and it doesn't actually take too much space, so you cannot hear it, but it just makes the build up much more intense. That was the word I was looking for. And yes, we are playing with the panning as well. I use panning just to create more of an effect, and then definitely because there were too many layers, so I had to mix them. So I just realized that panning would be a much better option uh, for me to mix them perfectly. With the drums, I'm gonna play all of them at the same time and then explain you what is all going on in the drums. So that's the drum majorly. This doesn't have anything, this doesn't have anything. So yes. All right. So these are the drums. Basic kick clap patterns with off hats. These are on. So this actually gives it more power. These are the hi-hats that are coming on the clap and the kick, and this is like a crash that starts off everything. And this is a hi-hat pattern. Very basic dubstep drums, but kind of apt for the track. It is something that I've always felt that when you're creating drums for at least bass music or dubstep, like any bass music for that matter, if we talk about rhythm, I always like to lay down my drums in a way where the drums complement the basses or complement the synths, whatever is playing. So I basically like to play out with my hi-hats and crashes. Kicks and claps are mostly basic in terms of rhythm, so in that I am not changing a lot of things, but definitely when it comes to my hi-hats and my cymbals, crashes, I like to create this groove with their help that kind of complements the basses. Because just putting any hi-hat or just not putting too much time, too much soul into your hi-hats would make the drop feel like it's just another ordinary dubstep drop. And if you just play around with it, like create some volume automations, put one pitch up, one pitch down, different type of hi-hats you're creating, so that gives it a very nice flow. And the best part, which everyone likes,
Oh my god!
the basses. So it has 11, 12, 13, and then I added 2 again, so that's 14, 15 basses. uh, that's what you call mixing, boys. That's what you have to put your brain into, mixing 14 different type of basses all together to make a drop. It's gonna take me forever just to open them. And right here then we have the basses. So the first bass of the first drop is this sustain bass. Very simple sustain bass. All of the sound design was done in Serum. I wish I could show you the patches, but I'm pretty sure I've lost them by now. Then we have the second bass, which is this. I'm gonna first show you this one. So on its own, it's actually not that of a big deal. But when we put it with this small glitchy bass, it creates a groove. They just create a groove. This is another layer of basses that is just underlying all the whole this section. Like you listen to them together and then so it's like when you're placing all of these different type of basses all together, you have to always have this flow inside of your mind, this particular thought inside of your mind that I want this particular drop to kind of sound like that. And that is how all of these spaces are being filled. This is empty, so this comes in, then this supports that, this is empty, and this space is being filled up. So all of these things you have to take in mind when you're obviously that is gonna also kind of make your mixing job easier. And then we have these. So this is like a reverse bass. Now I always like to use reverse basses because this is where my clap is, and when my clap hits, it's gonna give it a swoop. With that, we have a Valhalla vintage verb mix on it, so fills up the space, makes it feel more roomy, gives it a better swoop. Then this one is the same patch, so it acts like a offbeat variation, and these two are the main basses. So as far as their mixing is considered, they have the Maya rack on, and I cannot tell you what the Maya rack is because it is my bread and butter. The Maya rack is my bread and butter. I don't have anything else. So yeah, I cannot tell you what the Maya rack is, but I can tell you what it has inside of it. EQ, saturation, OTT, again saturation, again OTT, reduce ambience. Then you have a tube. Then you have Valhalla free EQ. Free EQ? No. Then you have Valhalla reverb, Pro MB, wider, glue compression. But I'm not going to tell you the settings because then you're going to have the Maya rack. So this is the main bass, and these are the two layers. So if I just turn one of them down, it doesn't have that much power. But if I turn this one on, instantly gives it power. So always layer your basses well as you can. This has a Valhalla vintage verb automation. So it kind of just gives it that much sweep right there, makes the drop feel a little more groovy. That is it for the first drop. And then we're gonna go to the second one. Oh, I'm gonna be opening these up again, so I shouldn't have done that. The second drop has the same bases. It's just that they're arranged in a different manner. Oh, and yes, I didn't show you the side chaining. So this is my side chaining basically. I use this automation, volume automation, and I create these notches. Kick clap. And I like it this way because then I can create how much dip I want, how much tightness I want. So I like it doing like this. All right, and then we have a fake buildup. Like this is the second buildup, and then we have the fake buildup. So the fake, oh no, this was the fake buildup, and this is the original one now. So this buildup has just one more layer, which are these snares, and I kind of made them to just lie in between the kicks. So they just support the whole build up again, and then definitely we're adding one more layer, one more snare into it, so it gives it more power. And oh, I kind of forgot to explain the vocals, right? I'm sorry, should have done that. So these are the vocals. If you guys want me to show you, or I'll attach the link to where I got this from. So let me see. These are the vocals. Then I have the pre-drop vocal right here. What happened, boys? Okay. Let me see. Ah. If you guys want me to show you the, okay, I'll show you the, I'll show you the particular sample that I got it from. Now this is a secret. So let me see. I do remember it. Right there. Right there. So sorry for the ear rape. So from this video, I'm going to show you from where I cut out those clips. So that is like the pre-drop vocal right there. That is the pre-drop vocal, and then where did it go? Where did it go? Yeah, this right here. This is the vocal that starts right from the build-up. Oh, sorry for the ear rape again. And I just looped his tayyar again and again. If you hear this. So that is how I got the vocals. Now you guys know. And the mixing on the vocals, it's EQ, OTT, saturation, again using the wider. So now you guys know the secret. Then we have the drop 2. So drop 2 has this. Wait, I shouldn't have closed these down. I knew it. Oh wait. Oh, this is where the, no, it's right here. So dumb. So this is the first bass. So this sustain bass is more like in the back end. You actually cannot hear it too much. It just fills up the space, makes the drop more powerful. That is like a backing for this. This is the main layer. And I guess that is it in terms of basses. These small things, these basses, they're actually filling up frequencies, filling up spaces that are left inside. So this space right here, it's being filled. And I kind of copy pasted this from the first part only because while I was mixing this drop, I realized that it's missing a lot of frequencies, and I realized that I have to have something in there, some small basses in there. So I just copy pasted the basses from the first part. Then we have the offbeat. The it's the same in the just different, I'd say different arrangement. Then I'm gonna show you the subs. So running 2 subs on this. This is like the subsection. Put in your headphones right now if you're not gonna hear anything else. I can show you the mixing. It's EQ, decap, stereo imager D. This is a very good plugin. I use that stereo imager D to mono my basses. So it's like very standard mixing. And then we have the outro of the track. So the outro has just the same synths playing, and we have the impact and the war horns. So that is like it, and then it just completes like right here. That is the section, and that is the drop, like the whole track. I've been calling it drop forever since it started. So that was just the destruction.
बेटा तुमसे ना हो पाएगा हमें तुम्हारे लक्षण बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं लग रहा है तुमसे ना हो पाएगा
That was the deconstruction of my track Yudh. If you like the video, you can subscribe the channel and let me know in the comments whatever else you want to know about this track, about future tracks, whatever, any other topics that you want me to cover, because I will be doing more videos like this. So just drop it in the comment section, drop a like, share it if you actually kind of learned something, and just subscribe the channel because I need to make money big time. Big time. And just for the one last time, we're gonna play the drop because I wanna hear it and I hope everybody wants to hear it. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty then, that's it for now. Thank you for watching the video. Again, subscribe the channel if you liked it, drop a like, share it with your friends, drop down in the comment section whatever you want again to ask me or you want me to cover in the next videos. I'll drop a link to the track, stream it as much as you can. You gotta make me famous. I am putting in a lot of effort. You gotta make me famous. Bye bye guys, see ya.